I quit my job because they refused to pay me as much as the guy I was training. Many years ago, I was working as a systems analyst for a small computer company. The company did payroll, etc., for other companies who were too small to have their own IT department. It was a very small company. There were two people who actually ran the computer systems, me and a night shift guy. The way the process worked, I would do the programming that needed to be done, set up the schedule for computer time, and hand it off to the night shift guy. He would run the jobs, gather and file all the reports, and send them off to the customer companies. Then he'd do a complete system backup, daily, because we were essentially playing with other people's money. The night shift guy was older, and knew his stuff. It was a pleasure to work with him. But about 6 months into this job, the night shift guy retires. The company hires a new night shift guy. The new guy was a total tool. Fresh out of college. Didn't know anything practical. I'm told I need to train him. Okay. So now I'm working 10-hour days. My usual schedule, plus a couple of hours over in the evening to train this guy. Except the guy just can't learn. I start getting calls about 2 to 3 a.m. because he screwed something up. I have to get up in the middle of the night, drive 30 minutes to the office, straighten out his mess, drive back home, and still show up at 8 a.m. This happens about 2 to 3 times a week. One night, I get the usual wee hour of the morning call. I drag myself in. His problem? The backup tape won't load. So when I got there, I discovered that when the first tape didn't load, he went to the next tape, and the next, and the next. The guy has effed up 6 months of backup. 6 months. His problem? He forgot the backup command. Instead he was typing the erase command. 6 months of erase tapes. So I do the backup, and consider how I'm gonna break the news to the boss the next morning that we now have a 6-month gap in our archives. While we are waiting for the backup to run, we go next door to the all-night coffee shop. While we are sitting there, me only half awake and already dreading having to be back in the office in a few hours, the new guy starts complaining about his salary. While I'm thinking he's lucky if he even keeps this job for another month, he tells me how much he's making. Which is about 20% more than I, the person who's training him, am making. And I'm working on salary, so I don't even get compensated for the middle of the night rescue runs. Me, who has been waiting 3 months for a promised raise that never materializes, and who even with a non-existent raise would still not be making as much money as this idiot. At this point, I'm done. At 8 a.m., I walk into the office. With a couple of empty boxes. I clean out my desk. I walk over to the boss's office. I say, with packed boxes in my arms, what's the status of that raise? He looks at me and says, well, it will be a while. We just can't afford it right now. I say, not a problem. Walk out to my car and drive home. Get a call later that afternoon from the receptionist. She asks me where I am. I say I'm home, I quit, and they can just mail me my last paycheck. Next day, I got a call from my boss. He asks if I plan to come to work that day, like there's nothing wrong. I say no. He wants to know why I'm upset. He needs me to come in. There are deadlines to meet. I tell him that he should get his new employee who is worth more money than I am to work both jobs, the way I've been doing for the last 2 months. Boss then explains to me that the other employee must be paid more because he has a degree in something, while my degree is only in something different. I tell him good luck with that and hang up.